Hello, BasketNews fans, friends and followers. I'm Jonas Miklovas, and I greet you from a country which is not that known for basketball, but it's a beautiful island, and we are here in Cyprus, in Nicosia, and which is the place is buzzing with basketball this weekend, with 4 basketball teams taking place in this tournament. And I'm honored to have as a guest one of the masterminds of European basketball, Mr. Dimitris Itoudis from CSKA Moscow. Hi, Coach.
Hello, thank you for your invitation. As you mentioned, Cyprus is a beautiful island and very ambitious in terms of sports in general and especially basketball.
I like how you talk so much, and usually that's a bit easier, for a journalist when a coach speaks a lot, because you don't have to ask that many questions. So I hope that we will manage to fit into that 25 minutes that we have in this conversation.
Okay.
This tournament, I guess, is one thing that you have to prepare your team for the upcoming season, but it's also maybe the last chance to enjoy this Cypriot sun before going back to Russia. For me, going back to Lithuania, it's very similar in terms of weather there. So that's the last chance to enjoy this summer, right, before going into job.
Yeah, the last chance to grab a little bit more of a vitamin D, which we missed during the winter, let's say. Yes, but the most important thing is to see where we are at in terms of basketball. Unfortunately, we didn't came full power because Danny Hackett had some back spasms, so he had to stay in Moscow back. Thank God he's doing better now with the work of the physiotherapist and our assistant conditioner coach. Anyhow, those are the conditions, and we're trying to see. We already played one game against Zenit. Today we play against Lavrio. And this season, I have the feeling that we did not have enough of a time to prepare compared with other seasons.
Before going deeper into that, I want to start off with 3 facts, to tell you those 3 facts, and please let me know which one of them you like the most. One fact is that in this year's EuroLeague, we have 4 Greek coaches. That's the most between all the nationalities, 4 Greek coaches. You yourself, Yannis Sferopoulos of Maccabi, Dimitris Priftis of Papanikos, and Mr. Barzokas from Olympiakos. That's one fact. Another fact is that you are the winningest coach of all time in EuroLeague, 76.4% of wins in all the games. That's number 1 overall. Third fact is that you are starting your 8th season in CSKA Moscow, and that's quite a feat because only 2 coaches coach CSKA longer, and they are both local legends, Russian coaches. One of them is Alexander Gomelsky, which is as great as an award is being named after him. Out of these 3 facts, which one do you like the most?
Well, you mentioned 4 facts. If we go by how you actually named them, the fact that there are 4 Greek coaches is a good fact. No, but we have another 14 coaches from different countries, which are very capable and full of knowledge and full of energy and motivation. So I don't think so. We have to go that much of nationality. It's about the skills and the philosophy of each and every one. Though I repeat, it's a good thing that I can see friends from all over the country and talk and exchange ideas and try to compete. The second fact, in terms of percentages, I'm privileged to be a head coach of CSKA, which is a great club, and I had the opportunity and the privilege as well to work with great players, and that fact of the percentage of winning as coach goes to many directions. First of all, to my players, my management, and president, Mr. Vatutin, and of course Nolis Nikel, my assistant coaches, everybody who contribute on that. I'm not a fool, and I'm very, very humble, and I understand that coaching 7 years right now in EuroLeague, and other coaches, great coaches that they have coached all around, like Željko Duda or many other of them. They have experience, and they did won other games under other names. So We want, though, to continue. We're very thrilled, and I'm driven in terms of, for me, a new season when it starts. I'm already, I have the fire yet. I do believe that there are a lot of things out there to learn. To be honest, first time I will say this in public, every time the season finishes, I do feel that I need to find out or to learn something more. But something is missing, so that's what keeps me always aware, trying to get information from that interview, from any other meeting I might have for the scrimmage game we're going to play this afternoon, for the book I'm going to read, or the information that I'm going to share with I don't know, some friends from NBA or from Europe or so, whatever. So, and I think that that's the meaning of life, and in general in sports as well. So trying to evolve, trying to be better every day. Don't waste the time you have. It's a precious time, so don't waste it. Regarding the third part, it's connected with the second, so I'm honored at the same time, and I accept that honor as a privilege and motivation at the same time to be at the head to a great club, as you said, and the fact that we're 7 years already and we're walking to the 8th year means that something is going good, that we're doing good things all together. And you know, it makes me proud that actually for the coach, winning titles, one very important fact besides the glory or the pictures or I don't know, the numbers as you mentioned, or all the records, is it buys us time to actually stay more and try to establish our philosophy. But let's don't forget, in these 7 years, we've been called with my coaching staff to manage the third generation right now. So we have changed 3 generations in 7 years. So from the teams of Hriapa and Milos Theodosis to the Kolos teams and Corey Higgins and Kyle Hines. Now we're in Will Clyburn's era and all Nikita Kurbanov and all the other great players we have. So this is 3 generations within 7 years that we're trying to embody and keep the core as much as possible untouched, and you know, establish the ethics, the work ethics we have as a club, the values of the club in general, and try to do our best. And I think that this is something that we can promise to our fans, that we're going to go out there and really compete each and every game.
I liked the fact that you mentioned, okay, there are 3 Greek coaches, but there are 14 other nationalities. And this kind of is the story of your life, right? Because you started your coaching career not in Greece, but as a student in Croatia.
Yeah, actually, I started in Greece. I was playing basketball in Hermis Trikalon, it's a small village, and then Alketas in Alexandria, where I was going the first 2 years in school. But you're right. I mean, my first experience on working with an organizing club in Mladost, it was in Zagreb, and it happened, we were playing 3-on-3, and a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, Igor Jukic, he asked, hey guys, we have a spot for mini basketball for a coach. And I was already in there to study basketball and to go and get and finish eventually my education and start my PhD as well in Zagreb, one of the best universities in Europe right now, and back then. So I accept that challenge, and it starts a friendship, and also the whole journey from Mladost to Zagreb to Lokomotiv and all the other teams that you have mentioned. Exactly. Yes.
So do you have a PhD?
No, I have never finished the PhD, okay. And the reason is because I was called from PAOK to be an assistant coach, and then end that season as a head coach, talking about 1995. And due to this fact, I had to move from Zagreb, but it was a good coincidence, and at the same time another challenge for me. So they accepted me in Komotini, which is the other University of Physical Education in Greece, to study there and continue my PhD. But it couldn't match to be a coach in Thessaloniki and in a professional club and following the academic career, let's say, it didn't work at the same time. You had to be dedicated and focused. At least this is my point. So I had to stop my PhD and be focused in basketball. So I don't regret, obviously, but it was a period that I had to make some choices.
Because that's the thought I had, to get to the PhD, being as a coach, it should be very hard. And I guess there are no PhDs in EuroLeague coaches circle, right? Because it's a tough thing to do.
I don't know. Maybe we have some that they haven't just, studying sports or basketball, but maybe other we have to search. That's a good topic for you as journalists to find out. One of the great minds in basketball and one of the best coaches that wrote books is Slavko Trninic in Croatia. A great friend of Ćosić and coached Split, Jugoplastika, or Zadar. He's living in Zadar, so he's a great mind.
But I guess that idea of having to evolve each year, to learn something new each year, comes from that background, right?
Yes.
Because that's something you have to do going year after year. Some guys could say, okay, I'm 35, I know everything, that's enough for me. Some guys say, I'm 65, I don't know enough, I still have to learn something. How does your off-season look like? Do you take off some time from basketball, just think about the things that just went through and think about the ideas we have to improve? Or do you start working just immediately, going into holidays and working at the same time?
Well, I have the opportunity, and at the same time, I am again privileged to own a house in Chalkidiki in a beautiful spot. So I try to use the time, value time, to spend with my wife and my daughter in I would say, a magic environment with trees and sea and
Greece is known for that, for sure. Yeah.
Yes, it is the spot that Greece is, and the fact that we're in 3/4 of the country, the borders are the seaside, and only up north we have the borders with other countries. Meaning land is up there in the north, and then we have actually a lot of seaside. So Greeks that are privileged to have this opportunity to have the seaside and also the mountains. So during this time, I mentioned that I try to relax. Of course, a professional basketball coach, it's impossible not to think about basketball. This summer, for instance, I had the opportunity to watch the pre-Olympic games and also the Olympic tournament. It was not that busy summer for us because we did not have that many moves to do. But still, you're there, talking, exchanging ideas, a lot of clinics happening, either with our union of coaches in EuroLeague or other countries they given a call. Due to the pandemic, you cannot travel that much, but now I think with Zoom, everybody can function and do clinics or exchanging ideas.
You mentioned that this summer you didn't have to do much work in terms of finding new players, signing new players. And I guess that's a situation that most of the coaches would like to have, right? Having that stability going from one year to another.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as I said, we try to keep the core untouched and given a shot. Like, would we try to think about how to build a team? Summer is a very important time. First of all, like half of the job, even more probably, you have to do during the summer, when you're gonna have to pick the right players that they can fit into your system. I have to emphasize over here that, again, my philosophy is not to bring, 12 MVPs and create the team like that. The team needs a certain characters, certain jobs to be fulfilled in certain spots. And if this group of people, they can really have a good chemistry, and that's how it works. If you don't find the right chemistry, or you don't try to at least making it happen, then most probably you're not good of what you thinking, and that's a fact. Also, it did happen to us as well. One or two pieces, it doesn't work the way we wanted to, or we thought, or we dreamed about.
one of the pieces that you put into CSKA Moscow is top scorer of last season's EuroLeague, Alexey Shved. But it's one thing to be a top scorer on the last place team. It's another thing to be a good player on a top team like CSKA Moscow. And I've heard that you talked to fellow Lithuanian Benas Matkevičius on his podcast, and you said that during every interview with a player before signing him, you tell him how it's going to be. You tell him what to expect, what are the values, how you plan him on using, so that there would be no surprises once the season starts. And can you share a bit how that conversation with Alexey Shved looked like, to explain him what to expect coming from one environment to another?
First of all, you mentioned my friend Benas, so I hope he's good where he is at. And yeah, we had a very interesting conversation. He says it's going to be, like you said, like 25 minutes and it lasts 4 hours. So I hope, you know, we don't have that much of a time.
I have time limit, yeah.
Anyhow, Benas is a friend, so I can share with him a lot of hours of talking basketball. In terms of going to details regarding conversation I had with Alexey, we had like maybe 5 or 6 conversations before we came to the final agreement in terms of him signing and coming back to CSKA, where he started his career actually. That's one of my, you know, let's say, things I'm doing during the summer. I can't imagine recruiting somebody without talking and without analyzing and see, you know, the feeling. I need to be honest. Sometimes I'm not pleased the players that we're going to sign, saying what is their weaknesses. You know, nobody wants to hear immediately from the start what are the weaknesses and what we have to develop. But still, we need to just tell them the true story, how it's going to look in CSKA, and what are the demands and what are the expectations. Well, we all know that, as you said, Alexey is very, very talented. He can score the ball, definitely. He can create for himself and for the others. I think it's very important to have such player in our team, and the fact that Alexey is now mature, let's say he pretty much did his, you know, his moves, and the circle is coming back, and I hope it ends and closes his career whenever he feels that he has to do so with a club that he started. I'm saying that he's more mature in terms of playing basketball, in terms of being a good teammate, in terms of being a person that has to realize what he has to do better in order not to achieve only individual goals, which are not bad, the individual goals, but within the system that supports him and his qualities. So he has to make some steps forward in order to change some things. And of course, we all over here know that he always been a target being attacked, let's say defensively or offensively, but it was a different story because over there he had to be the A and Z of the team, like playing 40 minutes, almost 38 minutes, doing everything, scoring, defending, creating, or so whatever. Here is going to be a little bit different, and that doesn't mean that he might not play 40 minutes at one game. I don't know. I'm not a magician. I don't know how it's going to go. But you see, the modern basketball is more or less in a long season that is combined with the local leagues, and VTB is one of the very competitive leagues in Europe. You need players to be fresh when the big games are coming. So if we can play him 20-25 minutes in average, that means that we're going to keep him a little bit more fresh, him or others. We're going to try to make a different rotation with some young kids to play some certain games. And, you know, so far I'm very happy because he shows that he's very motivated, first of all. Of course, he's still the honeymoon type. That's how I call it. This is the honeymoon now, you know. Real things didn't start, so the real punches. But still, as I said, he's very motivated, like all my players. And we're healthy, which is the most important thing. So if we stay healthy, I think we have a good potential. So now it's on us to meet that potential during the season.
One could say that, you know, CSKA Moscow had a great player and a very big personality in Mike James, and now Alexey Shved is coming in, also a great player and big personality. Could these two be compared, or are they completely different in terms of personality?
Each personality is different, so the two that you mentioned are also different in many aspects. we can find some definitely common things in terms of basketball, like both they can create, score the ball in different ways, but they're completely different.
Well, actually, I talked with Alexey Shved yesterday, and we talked also kind of a honeymoon. It's preseason. If you lose one game, that's not so bad, and so on. Alexey says, no, it's CSKA Moscow. One loss in a preseason game is bad also. In CSKA, all losses are bad. So basically, I guess he has already bought into this, CSKA thinking. And last year he had 17 losses in a row in EuroLeague. Now he had only one in CSKA in a preseason game, and he already felt that it's bad enough to lose a game in the preseason.
Well, I like that mindset, but I would say that, let's say going back and rewind a little bit the film in the season 2019 that find us actually as a European champion in Baskonia. The most the moments that define our character and the moments that actually arise within the champion mentality, it was our painful losses. So yes, we're in the world of reality. We're not going to be undefeated over here. I don't think so that there is a team that's going to stay undefeated. That's not healthy. And I mention this because I feel privileged and actually at the same time honored that a lot of companies are calling me to make some speeches and talking about the faults that we have in our life as individuals or as professionals. So I'm a kind of a fan of fall forward. We're going to fall eventually in our life. We're going to have losses. We're going to have disappointments. You might be disappointed from your girlfriend, your wife, your friend, your colleague. But the fact is how much you can accept as a fact this loss, understand that what is the problem, and we understood that the problem is at the same time also the solution, because the problem was us. So if the problem is us, it means that we're a part of solution. If we're a part of problem, we're the part of solution as well. So why I'm saying yes, I like the mindset that also in the preseason the loss is it's not easy for us or so whatever, but I'll say that the loss can be very helpful in terms of realizing where you are at, what you did wrong to lose by 30 or by 20 or by 10 or whatever on the buzzer, and try to get the signal and make the next step. So I think that if we're talking about this preseason game, we took the message, we work a little bit with the players, also in the mental part, but also in basketball. And we had a good reaction, let's say, in 2 days ago, a game against Zenit again. Even though we were missing Will in the preseason and Toko because they had their obligations with Alpine and EuroLeague filming the spots. But in general, I like that mentality. Though, I repeat again, the losses and painful losses, like it was, let's say, in 2019 from Budućnost on the road, or from Maccabi at home, or from Baskonia in the playoff at home. I'm just saying 3 pillars of painful losses that actually galvanize our character, and we took it as a weapon in our arsenal to really go out there and have a redemption. As a lot of people, they did not believe in us, and that's an extra motivation to prove that we knew it. We like the players knew it, that we have potential. So it's the right moment to go out there and win, and we did it emphatically, I would say, in Baskonia.
Coach, it's so nice talking to you, and actually I haven't gone like from 1/3 of what I have prepared, but Nikolai, this great guy who helped us arrange this interview, is already pointing to a clock and he's saying that's enough. So hopefully we can meet during the season and continue on this conversation. I have to let you go right now, but it was nice having you at least for this.
Thank you for having me. The conversation also goes smooth because you're well prepared, and I like talking basketball. So maybe we should arrange it a little bit more. It was my time that I have now meeting with my players, and that's why. So I take it on me. That's on me. So I feel that I own you another good interview, let's say, another good talk, whatever. It doesn't have to be an interview.
Okay, so maybe let's meet somewhere We are for sure we're traveling throughout Europe with BasketNews.com. That's what we're going to do.
That's a promise.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.